Welcome back, chaps. This is part 3 of my 262 trilogy of videos. You can see here I'm just going to show the colours I'm using just for the band, fuselage band, and the air intakes on the engines here. It's all pretty basic stuff. I mean, I'll let the pictures try and do as much talking as I can. I'm sure you don't want to hear me rattling on. But just for the first part of this, we'll talk about the 262. Obviously, the first operational jet powered fighter, and actually the design of this started before World War II, believe it or not. But due to wrangling by the top brass and problems with the metals they were using on the engines specifically, it didn't actually come to service till mid-44. It was faster and more heavily armed than any Allied fighter, including our very own Gloucester Meteor. And in fact, I mean, it does look stunning. If you put the 262 next to the Meteor, I have to say, you know, even though I'm a Brit boy, Brit aviation, enthusiast, it does look. Wow, this does look years and years ahead of the Meteor. Speed up footage, of course, is the underside colour, all thinned down with Mr. Leveling thinner. I can't tell you the exact ratio because I kind of make it up as I go along. Sometimes I get that ratio bang on, and other times I don't. This time I think it's, if I remember rightly, it went down really nicely. Just trying to get some sort of full coverage. There's no black basing going on here. It's like I was dying to do it with this colour. It would have looked awesome. But I want to get full coverage because it's going to be a particularly unweathered aircraft. I'm not even sure that the aircraft that I'm actually going to be depicting ever flew at all, in fairness. It might be one of these 262s that all its life was just wheeled around an aerodrome out the way of Allied bombs. So the weathering would be very light. Well, we'll talk about that later on. We'll show you what we do with that. But it won't particularly heavy weathered at all. Now, right, now then, 262 pilots claimed a total of 542 Allied aircraft shot down. But although obviously it was a lot faster than anything that the Allies had that are up against it, it did have weaknesses, which the American pilots in their P-51s soon found out. Takeoff and landing was a particular tricky time for the 262, and as well as in the turn, the Mustang can out turn a 262 quite easily. So if they could get a 262 turn in, then it might well be into big trouble. Adding to the mix the continued Allied air bombing, the fact that it was getting fuel shortages and material shortages, and the Jumo engine started to become rather unreliable. Unfortunately, the 262, although advanced as it was and the world's first combat jet fighter, it did prove to be the case of a little too late. But the 262 did soldier on with the Czech Air Force till about 1951. Captured 262s went on as well to influence designs of such jets of the F-86 Sabre, MiG-15, and the Hawker Hunter. You could almost say that they're second cousins or great grandchildren of the of the 262. Anyway, let's get back to the model at hand. This obviously is the camo is starting to go down now. Again, resisting black basing like mad. We've gone for all over coverage. Trying to get this down as smoothly as we can. I so wanted to weather the you know, to do the black basing and to weather that these top colours so badly, but you know, resist the urge. I resisted that urge. What's going on here? This is applying the splinter camo. I'm just trying to work out which is the best way of getting the finish that I was after. I want sharp splinter camo, the sharp edges, because I think they were have that slight feathered edge to them. So I try it with I can't remember. Try it with tape first of all. As you can see, I've just got some white tack worms, white tack rolled into worms, and then some tammy tape just pressed over the worms there, just over that where the camo would be, the edges, and then spraying down at directly, well, trying to be 90 degrees or even less than 90 degrees. You don't want to be spraying like into the white tack, as you'll end up being having a sharp edge. So you've got 90 degrees or less angle. It's like you're spraying away from the edge, and that's what I got with the white tack, and it was okay. But I thought I might be better off using paper. So that's exactly what I did. This paper here is this comes from the cockpit, the resin cockpit instructions, and it works quite well. So thanks for that. I'll peel it off here and we can just have a look. There we go. I thought it'd be easier to do it with paper because of the so using the white tack worms, because I've got bigger areas to do. Actually, I get a bit of like a bit of an underspray here. You can see just there. I haven't pointed it out to you. You see that just there? Look. Yeah, there you go. Look, I just have to come back in at a later date and then just tidy that up. So I'm going to leave it with you for a little bit, chaps, and I think I'm sure you can work out what's going on. I'll leave you some tunes and I'll be back shortly. So mottling the tail. This is I think this is RLM 81. This is the same, obviously the same darker green that's on the top side of the model here. This is heavily thinned with MLT, Mr. Leveling Thinner, as much as you dare, really, as much as I dared to do it without it. If you have a look closely, it does spiderweb a little bit. The air pressure is right down real low as well, and it does take a little while just to get your eye in. In fact, these early goes at it are a little bit rubbish. I do have to admit that this isn't a common occurrence for me. I'm very, very, very rarely. I think I've only ever done it 3 times before, and I think the first time I did mottling was many years ago. My little 172, 190, I think it was. I don't know, I haven't even got that model anymore. So this is just getting my eye in, just to see what it's like. Trying to follow the pattern as much as I can that I've got on the reference material. It's actually the decal sheet, to be honest. And I do it as the best as I can. And to be honest with you, I do come back in, which I don't show, at a later date, after my eye was in, just to tidy it all up a little bit, like thicken out the colour, and make it a little bit more presentable. Just there, them 2 streaks there, they look a bit wonky. Tidy things like that up. I do, as I say, at a later date. I don't show that, but I don't think there's any need to, really. Decalling now. You can't see it very well there, but I am trying to cut away some carrier film as much as I can. You can see I'm just trying to flick it off here. Now then, I did have trouble with these decals. I'd have troubles with all decals, but extra decal decals tend to be like the bane of my life. And I keep buying them. I don't know. I've got a few sets for future projects to use, and it's like, I just can't get the hang of it. I don't know what it is. They're like very thin, which you think is a good thing, but not really. They curl up and they don't sit properly. So I do have a bit of trouble with them. I don't show that much of the decaling procedure, to be honest with you. I don't think there's much I'm doing wrong. They worked out okay in the end. What we did in the end was you just persevere. You just keep throwing a chemical at them, and eventually they sort themselves out. So you do get there in the end. It's just there are better decals out there, but I seem to keep buying these. Bless them. if I'd left the undercarriage legs to their own devices, they would be at a not the correct angle. So this is the toothpick here is just to keep them separated. While this, I've glued them in with extra thin, but I'm using super glue here just to get it bonded properly. A bit of weathering now, so I'm using the oil brusher. Here we go, Starship Filth. It's very good actually, and odorless thinner, just to help me along the way. So we'll start here just with a little panel line wash, just around the back of the engines, just to get them dirtied up a little bit. As I said before previously, it's not going to be heavily weathered. As I say, I don't even think if it did fly, it would have just had 3 or 4 flights before it was, shall we say, put out of commission. So this is just to dirty up the engines just a little bit, some streaking going on. That's a dry brush, that is. So streaks have gone on, and then just with a flat dry brush just to wipe that off. I've got a bit of a dot filter going on the wing here. This is all Starship Filth. So you just dot that on, and then this is the damp brush, but I think I've actually got a bit too much thinner on this. And then you just wipe off in direction of the airflow. You know, you've seen all this before. But as I say, it is just to give us a slight left out in the rain type of finish. Just a bit of dirt, nothing extreme. I want the model to show its shape really. I don't want to hide it amongst weathering technique and all that malarkey. So this is just like where the mechanics would be handling the airframe and maybe clambering over in it to do a bit of maintenance, perhaps. This is just using the pigment again, just to go on the undercarriage door for the main wheel. Talking of the wheels, this is pigment again. This is the AK. No, it's not. It's not at all. It's the MiG Europe Dust. I think it is Europe Dust by MiG. This is pigment. We're just applying it liberally, just throwing it all about, just working it into the recesses, into the tire treads. A lovely resin wheels here. And you can see there we're just dusting that off with a cleaner brush, and then we come in with the cotton bud, then just taking off the rims and just to clean up or the wheel hubs, whatever you want to call them, just to clean it up and make them look a bit mucky, a little bit like on a muddy old airfield. Right into the treads as well. So we are actually coming up to the final stages of this build. A bit more weathering going on there. This is the undercarriage doors being super glued in place. Undercarriage door again. As I say, we're coming to the end of this now. Now, if you like what you're seeing here, please throw me a like over. And maybe a sub if you haven't subbed before, and a comment. I read all the comments and reply to all of them, so we can we can tell me where I'm going wrong or tell me where I'm going right. All is good. If you want to give me a dislike, you can by all means crack on and do that. But if you are going to just let me know what was you didn't like about it, so then we can move forward and we can try and improve as best we can. This is the aerial wire going in here. This is the Ushi van der Rosten Rig That Thing wire. This is super glue. So if you just want to stay tuned just for a little bit longer, we've got the finished build. Got some nice photos coming up. and I will see you on the next project, whenever that will be. See you later, guys.